Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. Welcome to the MNmaxed podcast. We want to thank you for joining us, and you do so as we continue Bloodlords. As always, we'd like to invite you to come join our Discord where you can hang out with us and other listeners of the show. And if you'd like to throw us a little financial support, you can check out our Patreon. And a shout out to all of those at our big number level and above. Rock Jedi, Iggy, Wolf, Blodimus Slump, Thunder Mammoth, The Trevor Project, Das Chris, Fizzgig, AC Goldner, Eric R. Oh, just gonna sneak right past you there. Indie Link, Tawdry Monster, Mercutio, Angel Shadowheart, Sirenid, Forevermore, Jason K, Dicky Lopez, Lucky Lopez, Rickety Rope Bridge, Alex K, Doma Alaka, Frank L, Just Mike Works, Ross D, Argoon's Long Lost Elbow, Fig Tear, Zach S, Jamie H, Mr. Turtle, Sleeve, Darren, Caleb W, Gory, Pickle, Mr. Grimm, Firedown, M54 Ewas, Jameson S, Eric R, +24+7 of Whacking, I'm Not a Robot, George F, Leohart, Har, and Witch Hunter. Thank you all so much for your support. And now a recap of Session 8. We've just finished cleaning up our mansion and rebranding to the Theater of Sin. Unexpectedly, Bloodlord Haldoli comes to visit us. We receive her enthusiastically. She thinks the key we found could be to a Grey Dirge bank lockbox. We exchange pleasantries, dinner, and info. Later, we go out shopping and intelligence gathering. Turns out a bunch of stuff from the bank got moved to Mekatar, but some say there might be more lockboxes still down in the vault. Not much info on the three-fingered hand symbol, but something about a Bone Shards gang of fetchlings who stay well hidden. Loose connection at best. Also, we hit level 2. We receive a letter of summons to a temple called the Empty Threshold to meet with some stupid fucking Zon Kuthon worshippers. We decide to agree, and the meeting is set for the next day.
So the time passes, and you make your way to the Empty Threshold. The Empty Threshold is the temple to Zon Kuthon in Grey Dirge, and it's one of the largest public edifices dedicated to the Midnight Lord in the Inner Sea region. Like most of the buildings in Grey Dirge, a good portion of the temple extends underground. Otherwise, its front is displeasing to look at architecturally. Like, there are no symmetrical angles in the exterior of the building. All the walls are just slightly off. Any adjoining surfaces don't quite match a 90-degree angle. Like, everything is just slightly off. And as you stand outside the Empty Threshold and you're staring at it, it's just uncomfortable to look at.
Sounds about right. I'll bet everybody inside's going to be about the same. Uncomfortable to look at.
Everyone, yes. As you approach the entrance to the Empty Threshold, you are greeted by 3 Kuthites, and they introduce themselves. All 3 of them are wearing black leather garb and carry serrated daggers at their hips. One of them is just covered in tattoos, depicting beautiful creatures in terrible pain. The other 2 bear fresh scars, and they approach you simultaneously, and they bow simultaneously. My name is Yagefka. I'm Rofella. And I'm Taket. Please, follow us, they say in unison.
I do.
As you enter the Empty Threshold, you make your way into a small ablution room. And as they enter, the 2 that are bearing the flesh scars go to wash away some of the blood that is obviously fresh from cuts made earlier. They look at the 4 of you.
My eyes go a little sharky at that. You know, like when a shark smells blood in the water, they're like, I have a similar reaction that I try and keep under control.
The one that doesn't have the fresh cuts, the one with the tattoos of the beautiful creatures in pain, looks to the 4 of you while the other 2 are washing. Do any of you need assistance in cleansing yourselves before you enter the threshold?
You see, you take such a normal sentence, and then you have it said by a Zon Kuthonite, and nobody knows what the fuck you mean.
I'll take that as a no.
Yes.
and an offhanded slap to the Kuthites.
Cleanse me of what?
See? Exactly. Nobody knows. Are you going to rip out our souls? Who knows?
Absolution comes through pain.
Yes, quite. Other people's.
Perhaps we can discuss some of the self-beneficial properties that you can gain should you lean into the pain of this world.
I could assist you with some pain.
I have myself and others of the religion to inflict that pain. If you would like to inflict it on me, you can create an appointment. We have services for that.
I didn't realize you were so much like a double to Calistria. Anyway, shall we go do this dinner?
And the other two Kuthites finish washing in the chamber, and then they say, "Very well. Follow."
I do. I'm trying to decide if I have my idol unsummoned or not. Do you think we're going to be in combat, or should I be in diplomatic mode? I'm going to say I do not have my idol unsummoned at this time.
Sundrinker's away for now.
Yes.
You head down further a couple of chambers, and as you go deeper into the empty threshold, you can hear the clinking of chains, distant screams of all kinds, whether it's for what sounds like screams of pain to screams of pleasure, and they're all at an 11. Everything gets turned up to an 11, but it's just in the distance. So it has this weird, creepy chill factor to it when it comes to, like, the environment is constant torturous screams. And then you come to another chamber. And in another chamber, there is an altar. What are they called? A stone altar with a bowl cut out in the middle of it.
I do think they have a name, but
There is
I'm
a
not sure
specific
what that
name. I can't
is.
think of it.
Not Catholic enough for that.
Yeah, I don't remember enough of my
Maybe
church
cut some of
stuff.
that out.
No, we're the sinners, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to chase away all. I doubt there's too many Catholic
Maybe
listeners.
we do, and there probably aren't many at this point, right? Hopefully this far into it, they've realized that this...
I don't think we're all that disparaging of religion.
Nah, in general. Except for Eridan. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, we just hate Eridan.
Oh, and Abadar.
I also hate Zon
Those
Kuthon.
are
And Zon
fake
Kuthon.
religions.
Yeah, but these are fake religions. We're allowed to hate fake religions.
That's fair. That's fair. In this next chamber that you come into with the stone altar with the bowl carved into it, the three attendants gather around the bowl, and there is a shing as serrated daggers are pulled from sheaths, and they hold them up to their arms, and you can hear, it's audible, as the skin is split as they bring these serrated daggers down their arms and bleed into this bowl.
Oh my god, a bowl full of fresh blood. Are you kidding me? I'm a vampire. This is why I don't hang out with Zon Kuthonites.
Is there anything else in the bowl, or is it just blood?
It's just, right now it's just blood.
Okay.
And they empty the blood into the bowl, and one
I
of
put
them
the blinders on.
and one of them
Get
looks to
through
the
this.
four of you and says, "Would any like to join us in bleeding before this dinner?"
You do realize I'm a vampire? Could we please move along?
Can I bleed?
Do you feel pain?
No. Pass.
Yeah, undead can't bleed.
Do you feel pain, Luke and Hollow?
I feel pain. And I don't even know what to say. I'm too flustered. Yes,
So
I
you
feel
probably
pain.
feel pain right now by having to.
Good.
Pain right now. Yes, it's like I'm extremely hungry and surrounded by food that I can't have. Please, let's move along.
In unison, the three of them go, "Good."
I fucking hate Zon Kuthon. God.
One of the three goes and grabs a pitcher from the corner of the room, and then they wash the blood off from the freshly cut wounds. And then finally, after this just parade of self-torture, they finally are led to a chamber deep in the empty threshold. It is the office of a man. So you see this man sitting at a desk.
He has very, very rosy lips.
He does have really rosy lips, doesn't he?
He wears makeup.
You see a man, living man, sitting at a desk.
Scars are fake.
In a stark chamber filled with papers and pens, and also just decorating the wall here and there. There's a lash and a few other torture implements just about, in case you need one. This man is decked out in dark blue robes with a white stole. He's bald, and cut into his head are cuts that look like they're stitched together in sharp geometric patterns.
I'd like to make a medicine check for my corpse stitcher background. Are these good stitches or bad stitches?
Go ahead and give me a lore check on that, actually.
Is medicine okay?
Oh yeah, medicine's all right. I'll give you that.
I get a 14.
You can tell the stitches look like they might be sloppy at first glance. And then you take a second glance, and you notice that the stitching is actually very well done. It's just been broken and cut and restitched over and over and over again, that the scar tissue makes it look sloppy.
That sounds about right.
As the three acolytes lead you into this office, Ortegar, he looks up. Ah, my visitors, thank you, please, please. Leave us. May pain be with you, acolytes. And they respond, and also with you, in unison.
Of course they do.
And they leave. And he says, welcome to the empty threshold. I hope they weren't too torturous on your way this deep back to my office.
Can't take a few steps without cutting something open.
That's a Kuthite joke. That's a Kuthite joke. Please, join me in the dining hall.
I do.
And as you're walking to the hall, it's a little ways down. You can tell that it must be Ortegar's quarters in this section, because his dining hall is actually just a large dining room. There's a long table, enough to host about 10 people, but just the one end of the table is made up in an more of an intimate setting. He would be set at the end of the table or the head of the table with you all seated around him. There's just enough for him and the four of you. And he goes to walk behind his seat and he says, please, have a seat. I asked Berline a little bit about what you might enjoy for a dinner such as this, and well, I must say I was very interested in the response. It turns out, Kix, you'll eat nearly anything.
Well, I wouldn't say anything, but I'll eat food.
You'll eat living food, I would assume.
I don't want it to be alive, no.
Well, sorry. Food for the quick.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. I also understand that the rest of you have your own specific desires at the dinner table. We'll have things brought out to us in time, but for now, would you enjoy a glass of wine with me?
I feel like this wouldn't be a weird thing in a land where everybody's undead. It's got to be known, right? Skeletons like bones, vampires like blood.
It is. However, what I should get across here is that in undead politics in general, undead politicians don't meet for dinner. That's not something they do.
Because it's too weird.
Berline and Ortegar, however, do enjoy dinners quite a bit. In fact, you'll find out throughout the dinner that he'll discuss, he loves having dinners with Berline. Him and Berline are close friends.
Gotcha. All right.
As you all go to sit down for the dinner, 3 of those acolytes come out to set silverware in front of Kix and a silver spoon in front of Ortegar. One of them also brings out a platter, a covered platter. They bring it up, and he sits, and he says, oh, one moment, I must take a seat. And he sits down, and they hold the platter in front of him, and they lift it up. You might have expected some sort of food to come from the silver platter, but no. The platter contains a large, writhing arachnid, like just a spider the size of a basketball. But several of its limbs have just been detached and are laying around in the platter. And there's a little, almost gravy boat that he picks up and then gently pours it onto the arachnid, and you can see that it is in fact acid. and the acid hits the spider that's had all of its limbs torn off at it, and it twitches and it writhes. And then they cover the platter, and they take it away. And he takes his silver spoon, and he takes a black cloth, wipes the spoon, just makes a little cut in his wrist, and then sets it down.
And I was gonna assume Kuthites just like ate like Taco Bell and gave themselves like nasty diarrhea for the next day.
Yeah, that's suffering, man.
This just seems like way too much effort when they could just eat something that's gonna give themselves like some food poisoning.
Yeah, it's way too much work.
So did he actually eat anything from it?
No, he didn't. He just they brought it out to him, and he just poured acid on this near-death spider with limbs torn off of it.
Okay.
I'm not sure what you were expecting me to say.
That's written into the book, right? Like, you didn't make that up?
No, that's legitimately basically in there.
I would say you Kuthites like playing with your food, but you don't even eat it.
Oh, no.
What a waste.
That's not food. That's my offering to the Midnight Lord. Pain. I offer pain.
Have you know arachnids actually can't feel any pain? You dumb cultists.
Arachnid lore.
Honestly, I really enjoy spiders. And me inflicting that to the spider caused me pain.
Ah. Okay.
God, I'm gonna kill this guy someday.
My name is Ortegar. Please, introduce yourselves.
Yes, hello, I'm Lucan Hollow.
Hello, Lucan.
Hello.
Can we just get to what you want?
To eat dinner. Have good company.
I'm a fucking ghost. I don't eat anything. Let's get to the fucking point.
But I have something for you, if you would indulge me.
You can barely make out his eyes, but he rolls them. But now I am intrigued.
Is anyone else going to introduce themselves? Are you... You must be Gerdrug, then.
It seems like these guys know who we are already.
I assume that Berline told you who we were, so yes.
She did, but formal introductions are always pleasant, are they not?
No, they're terrible. This has been terrible.
It pains me to see you in such social awkwardness.
Well, then you must love it.
That I do. How about the quick at the table?
I don't know. I'm a little disgusted with the whole spider thing, so I'm probably just like, okay.
Kix is just like turning green.
I might throw up. I thought maybe that's what they're going to try to feed me, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought I made this clear. You said, what do you want? My one stipulation. I wanted to not be alive.
And then he looks over at Arius, and you, good friend, have been quite the talk of, well, the court of recently.
Why?
Not many skeletons just show up out of the blue in Grey Dirge and preach to Zuriel the way that you do. Why, if I didn't know any better, I would expect that you and I wouldn't get along very well.
We won't.
As expected.
Arius just sitting there with his arms crossed the entire time.
With his bones crossed.
He's not. Yeah. He does not like being here.
He'll just go into topics throughout the dinner. But it doesn't take very long for the meal to be served. He has things brought out that are very similar to Berline's tastes. Like, everything is over the top. The food for the quick here. This is basically for him and Kix. You've got minced beef, roasted vegetables, pigeons stuffed with onions and spices, stuffed dates, buttery pastries drizzled generously with honey, and other indulgent dishes.
Almost would make it worth it to be there.
He'll ask you at some point after the food is served, because at the moment it's likely just Arius and Gerdrug and Lucan sitting there watching Kix and Ortegar start to eat. Ortegar looks up at Lucan and says, I understand that you prefer things to be very fresh, Lucan, as most of your kind do.
Yes, of course.
I've brought in some livestock just for the occasion.
Have
One of the acolytes escorts in a beautiful young man wearing like a sheer transparent robe who goes and kneels next to your spot at the table and bows his head.
I have to assume nobody at the party has, like, watched me feed before? I've just had, like, cups of blood and such.
I mean, you're a vampire. We know what vampires
True.
do, so...
You expect me to be so voyeuristic about it? All right, then. And I will indulge of the meal offered before me. You know, as a vampire would.
A tray of bones is brought out for Arius.
He doesn't touch him.
Oh, he doesn't.
Ooh. Able to resist temptation better than Lucan.
Ortgar notices this. Do you find yourself filled, Arius? Or is it just a message?
I don't know. God damn it, Tyler.
I can't tell if Arius is giving him the silent treatment or if Ted's thinking.
I'm thinking, but I also just don't know how to respond as like Arius.
Well, it's your character, however you want him to.
Oi, thanks, mate. No?
I'm sure that was close. I'm sure.
Not feeling hungry.
Understandable. I understand. You need to lose those bits of bones to require them, I suppose. And, oh, yes. Gurdrug, I appreciate you humoring me for the evening with the dinner. I'll have yours brought with dessert if you don't mind.
God, this guy's trying my patience.
I'd like to keep your attention just a bit longer.
Damn you, Tyler. Like you knew what I was going to do once you told me.
I would like you to tell me, if you are so willing, about Berline mentioned a few things about old Ergag's farm. I understand you've done very good work for her. I'm very good friends with Bloodlord Haldoli.
I can't tell if he wants some sort of, like, validation that he's friends with her or something.
Like, good job, bud.
Gurdrug won't give him any if he is.
Yes, Bloodlord Haldoli is certainly the pillar of the community here in Grey Dirge.
Yes, and we've been friends for some time. It's interesting in a city like Grey Dirge being among the quick and also having political power. We've exchanged many recipes over the years. We do enjoy dinners together, though I will have to pay for this one later.
And whatever do you mean by that?
Oh, my mortal pleasures must be responded to in kind to the Midnight Lord, in equal and greater measures of pain.
Ah, yes, of course. Well, you are certainly a very pious man, and I guess I can respect that.
I appreciate that, Luke, and I respect you.
That is a deception check. 26.
And it goes off without a hitch.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Can you also give me a diplomacy check, Lucan?
Of course.
Like, Kix hasn't been doing a lot of talking. Is that just because Kix is scared at this table, or is Kix just
This is fucking some damn good food.
shoving food in his face? Got it.
I've had the best food in like the last week than I've like ever eaten in my life.
Never eaten this good before. Arius, I can imagine, is just giving Ortegar the silent treatment several times, maybe just straight up not answering questions because, well, you don't want to talk to this guy.
Pretty much.
And Gurdrug's just been kind of gruff.
Gruff.
Yeah, this guy basically ignoring everything he says whenever possible.
So, Lucan, what kind of diplomacy check did you get here?
Pretty good one. 27.
27. Okay. After your conversation, you get to like Ortegar finishes, and even Kix looks like he's slowing down a little bit. He's still going, but he's just moving a little slower. Ortegar uses this black napkin that he's had with him and dabs his face, puts down the silver spoon that he's been both equally afflicting self-harm and enjoying his food with. He says, "Your conversation has been just wonderful, Lucan. Thank you so much for joining me for this dinner. I see that you enjoyed yourself," and he looks down at the body that's just lying on the floor.
Also, there's blood stains down my new fancy clothes.
I do have to ask, do you have a way to get that out?
Well, of course, darling. That's what prestidigitation is for. But, for us vampires, it's almost like part of the accoutrement. But you just leave a little behind, just so everyone knows.
A subtle hint. I like that.
Exactly.
Well, I've so much enjoyed our time, Lucan, that if you would like, my acolytes are, well, they know a few spells that they could teach you that are uncommon to those spellcasters who usually practice the arts. They are a little Kuthites in nature, I must admit.
Well, if you are willing to present them, I'm certainly keen in learning.
Glad to hear that. We'll have one of the acolytes speak with you on your way out. Yegefka has seemed to take a liking to you. I'm sure they would love to speak with you again.
It was riveting conversation.
What riveting conversation.
Now, please, you must forgive me. I do not want to seem ungrateful for your hospitality. But what was the point of this dinner? Surely you must be a busy man.
Very much so.
Why are we here?
Perceptive, Mr. Hollow. I do hope that you've enjoyed your food, but let's discuss those matters that I've brought you here to discuss. I recently learned of an apparent plot to introduce some strange substance, poisons perhaps, to Geb's food supply. Mostly thanks to your investigations and my friendship with Bloodlord Haldoli. This plot involved not just any remote farm, where the food would undoubtedly be shipped overseas and be of no concern to mine, but a farm that supplies Grey Dirge itself, including this temple. Well, you all know of what I speak, of course. But I have a confession to make. Word of this plot did not reach me by way of our mutual acquaintance, the esteemed reanimator, Bloodlord Haldoli. No, I learned of this plot from a member of my own congregation. It is difficult for our worshippers to keep secrets from us. My acolytes are quite skilled, and it is easy to recognize when one of our own has grown accustomed to our ministrations and requires extra attention. One such congregant is a man named Dakramat. He is also a member of a Grey Dirge gang called the Bone Shards. We've long known Dakramat worked with the Bone Shards, but it did not concern us. It is a pathetic little group, little more than struggling ruffians, unworthy of our attention. Or so I assumed. It seems the group has a new leader. This individual plots to poison Grey Dirge's food supply. Dakramat heard about this from his gang's new leader, but as he wasn't in the inner circle, he couldn't provide any details, even under intense interrogation. Our modest congregation consists mostly of living people, and there are many other quick across Grey Dirge. A mass poisoning is no trifling matter. One cannot serve the Midnight Lord with a quick, painless death as much as he can with years of servitude. When word of what happened at Oldirgag's farm reached me, it was clear there truly is a plot against Grey Dirge, against its living residents at least. I try to keep myself on the empty threshold insulated from such schemes, and I'd appreciate external assistance with this investigation. Thus, I have brought you here to share what I know. The Bone Shards are somehow connected to what has happened and what may yet happen if no one acts. I can tell you where their hideout is. If I hire you, try not to kill all of them. If they have information on this plot, we ought to learn who is involved.
Well, I must assume that nobody is better at extracting information than a Kuthite.
Indeed.
And that I say without a deception check, because that's probably true.
That's probably super legit. If you would investigate the Bone Shards hideout, I'm sure it would be a good next step in your own investigations. Doc Ramat is no concern of ours at the moment.
Certainly, the evidence we uncovered at the farm, Eargags, did point to such a thing, and to hear of it being at least seemingly confirmed, that certainly is a concern for Grey Dirge and something that we would want to look into. So I must say, I do appreciate the information you've given us and can confirm that we will be investigating it.
That is much appreciated. I hope that you will take this information that we have given you and do the best for the quick in Grey Dirge. Mistress Haldoli truly, for the moment at least, trusts the four of you. And therefore, I trust you as well.
If all the quick in Grey Dirge would be killed, where would I get my meal? Kix won't last forever, will he? Just kidding, Kix.
I'm sick of this harassment.
It's not going to stop.
I'm calling HR.
19 more levels of it, bud.
So, all of the plates from dinner are taken away and cleaned up, and the acolytes return. One of them brings a little roll of paper and hands it to Lucan, and it has a name and an apartment number in the empty threshold.
So that's where we're supposed to go?
For learning the Kuthite spells, if you so desire. So you have that. A cup of hot coffee is brought out for Ortegar, and he sips it and soon. Oh, yes, Gurdrug. He waves over to one of the acolytes, sticks a finger up. Yeah, here, yes, Master Gurdrug will take his meal now. And they bring out this little saucer, a little tiny platter cover, sets it down in front of you, lifts it up, and it's a sheet of paper.
Oh, that's what he eats, paper!
Paper!
Gurdrug will open it.
That's going to, for the most part, conclude dinner.
Yeah, after reading what's on the paper, Gurdrug stands up. This all could have been an email, and just walk out.
After you've agreed to investigating the Bone Shards hideout, no real exchange of coin or goods was had. Only that somebody has a tip for you, and it's the closest thing you have to actionable, something you can do, a place you can investigate in regards to the poisoning. Without a doubt, Berline might want you to act on this. But do you go to her about it, or do you just act?
No, we're just going to act. We've already been charged with this as a task. We don't need to run to mommy every time it's time to do something. We can show initiative. I want to show initiative.
Then do you go that night after dinner to the Bone Shards hideout?
I haven't used any spells.
Yeah, this group is a group of action. So we're going now then, right, I assume?
Works for me.
Arius? Kix?
Good to go.
Let's do it.
I'll bet they have brains, Kix.
That's something I can do.
I know. Be interesting to see you actually do something. Let's go. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm never giving your Eidolon a move ever again.
No, what have I done? That's right. You're a teamwork character. Oh, no.
Don't piss Kix off.
I'm just a...
Don't piss off, Kix.
It goes
He
both
won't
directions.
aid you anymore.
Yeah, you won't get aid anymore.
That's the most passive-aggressive fuck you. Alright, so Ortegar does provide you with directions to where he knows the Bone Shards hideout is. And if you decide to go right there, you find out very quickly that the location is in a district of Grey Dirge called the Meat Market.
The meat district, you said.
The Meat Market. district.
Meat market.
Go ahead. Does anybody have a lore on Grey Dirge?
I've got society.
Just the society will work here.
I mean, I literally have Grey Dirge, if that gives us better shit.
Lore Grey Dirge would be
Yeah,
the better.
usually they give you
lower
better.
DC.
Skills. Grey Dirge. It's a 19.
So, Kix, you are well acquainted with the meat market, but in a different way than most of your party would be aware of it. This relatively poor neighborhood largely contains dismal residences for Grey Dirge's quick. In fact, the meat market would probably been where you were holing up. In a hovel, maybe packed together with some friends or people from the bank if you had them, but in the meat market, there's rumors among the quick. Rumors that tell of abandoned flesh-rendering sites buried beneath the district. And there's a maze of tunnels and rumors of dangerous creatures and gangs in the underground of the meat market. Most people don't search the meat market's underground. There are multiple tanneries that operate on the surface, where the reanimators employ dozens of tannery workers to dye the massive quantities of leather produced on the farms of Grey Dirge's hinterlands. And this location is underground in the meat market.
And we do have an idea of how to get in?
You know where the hideout is, and it's among the warrens of tunnels under the surface.
Well, Gerdrug, are you interested in doing a little scouting, or shall we just go in guns a-blazing, as it were?
Can I make some sort of check to know what I know? If I've been here before, if I know anything about it with the...
Society you can do?
Probably not, but hey, how about a 26?
You don't know any more than Kix knows.
Yeah, I'll go ahead of you guys. Your light source has really ruined my eyes.
I'll turn mine off for now.
I'll brighten mine.
That's right, you need to be able to see. Do you have low light vision at all?
No. The low light?
Oh.
I think I have low light.
As a tiefling, you should have low light.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can at least do low light.
Turn the dimmer switch down on your light spell. But basically, I'll be doing the avoid notice exploration activity. If you guys wish, you can follow the expert.
Can we now?
Wait, is that the first time we can actually do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, God, that's so
fuck,
nice.
no, we can't. Damn
Wait,
it.
we can't?
You're not an expert yet.
I'm not an expert yet. I took thievery.
Oh, you're still
Thievery for
so you're still
my
trained.
First expert. I'm still only trained in stealth.
Well, it won't be too much longer, I suppose, right?
I think it's next level. Yep, next level.
As you decide to descend right into the warrens and the tunnels underneath the meat market, you follow the directions you were given by Ortgar. After a few hours of navigating the tunnels, you find yourself where the map would take you. This place is off the edge of a tunnel, and the tunnel opens into this facility, but the entrance is a gaping maw of fangs, each made of thousands of fused humanoid teeth. And they all line a short passage which opens up to the east into a vaulted chamber of stone.
Theatrical. Okay.
Yeah, my weapons are drawn. Just gonna make sure that that's
Throw
clear.
that out
Just throw
there.
that out there real quick.
Mine too.
Damn it, you're just like Coral. You're always like, yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Mr.
My
doesn't
weapons.
actually have weapons.
So Coral could actually murder someone with her fists.
So there's nothing to the left.
There is nothing to the left there, no.
Okay.
How far ahead do you want to be, Gerdrug?
I mean, how much light do you have?
A lot. There isn't a dimmer switch on an ever-burning torch.
I will go to about there.
And I'll wait back here with my light.
Gerdrug, you look into this cavernous chamber.
Oh, what a sick looking map.
You see that at the entrance here, the walls and floors, and even the ceilings of, like, say, the short passage are predominantly stone. But the number of bones embedded throughout the area is staggering. There are no lights that are prevalent throughout the chamber. You can see clearly through, obviously. You do see a flickering light in the distance in one corner of this open chamber. That's a bit further. You would need to enter in to see anything else.
I'll just kind of step back in the light and gesture him to move forward a bit. And I will move in, kind of staying on the right side, trying to be farther away from that light that I can see.
Got it. Gurdrug, as you advance a little farther, you see that just beyond the entrance, there are the skeletal remains of 4 people, and they sit propped up against the walls where the passage widens into the larger stone area. There are 2 on either side. Each wears a simple leather skull cap strapped tightly beneath its jaw.
Can I make a perception check to see if they're going to all of a sudden move?
You can give me a stealth check as your initiative, because as you enter in and Lucan and Sundrinker follow in behind you, the skulls begin to shake and wiggle a little bit, and then the teeth start chattering, and they leave the skeletal bodies that are leaned up against the wall, and they lunge forward to attack.
Wait, the teeth are attacking us?
The skulls.
Okay.
And the skull's jaws are like strapped with a leather strap. Here, I'll show you the token. It'll make more sense when you see the tokens.
Sounds adorable, to be honest.
That was the move up a bit motion, not the move all the way up motion.
Sorry, but we're only level 2. We've only done a few dungeons, but we're not coordinated yet. Arius, there's a bunch of skulls. Maybe you can find one that's more handsome than yours.
No, it's impossible.
Just replace it.
No, mine is the best call.
That poor fairy would have loved this place.
So, at the top of round 1, as those chattering jaws begin to click and the teeth chatter, you can see that those leather straps are actually holding them down to the skeletons that are along the floor and the wall here. And as the chattering gets louder, you realize that this may not be necessarily a physical threat as much as it is a potential alarm system. And the skulls are about to go a-chattering. Gurdrug,
How interesting.
at the top of round 1, it's your turn.
I take a 5-foot step forward, and then I will attack the skull directly to my south. Because I used stealth as my initiative, I get a surprise attack, which means he's flat-footed to me.
All right.
How about a 28?
A 28 is a critical hit.
23 damage.
23, and they are not immune to critical hits. There is a little bit of resistance to your damage, but not enough to stop you from just slicing the spine from the skull and then cracking it open with another slice. And it stops moving and click, click on the ground.
Well, there's another one within 5 feet of me. It also has not gone yet, so it is also flat-footed. I swing at it with my +1 dog slicer. I use a hero point because I rolled a natural 1. And I get a 2 instead.
Oof. Total of 7 will miss.
I'm dead.
One of the chattering jaws to the north, you can see, begins visibly fighting the leather strap that it's on to try to chatter. And it's going to make a flat D20 check. Gets a 9. The leather strap that's holding it in place is holding it in place very well. However, it does give it an easier purchase on the chattering. It uses all 3 actions to chatter loudly. And its sound, click, 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 begins to echo. You don't think it's loud enough right now on its own to do much, but many more of them start joining, and it could alert somebody deeper within. Kix, it's your turn.
I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to target, looks like, it's not showing me what number that is, but that one. The one farthest in the top right, across from Gurdrug. And then... 15?
15 hits.
I throw a random bone telekinetically across the floor with the 10 bludgeoning damage.
The 10 bludgeoning damages bypasses its resistance, and the bone cracks right into the skull and smashes it.
And I will end my turn with a aid from Recall Teachings.
Then that takes us over to Lucan. It's your turn.
Oh, I don't know how best to do this. I want to try and kill him before anything happens, but don't know if that's really going to be possible.
Kix just killed the one that started chattering, so neither of the other two have started yet. And if your vine can do bludgeoning, just bludgeon them.
I move, Sundrinker moves into the area and will attack the one to its south using a vine lash.
The one next to Gurdrug, all right?
That's the one I can reach.
Oh, should I go after the other one? But that's the one to go next. Not that I would know that. That's probably a little metagamey.
I mean, they're all starting to chatter. You can see one of them's further along than the other because you're heroic and you perceive those types of things.
Okay.
It's our table, David.
It's the one I'm going after because it's the one that I would
Makes
really
sense.
wished I could get in a place where I could hit both of them from 10 feet away. I just can't quite.
What do you mean? You're in range
are.
of both of them right now. With reach?
Oh, I am, aren't I?
Yeah.
Ah, how wonderful to have reach. So yeah, we'll attack that one to the south first. I get an 18.
18 hits.
I will deal it 7 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. And it takes all of that damage, but it is not quite enough to destroy the skull. It leaves a
Damn.
big crack on the side of it. You can see it's just barely ready to fall apart, but that jaw still starts chattering.
All right. Swing again with an 18.
An 18 hits.
And we'll deal it an additional 9 bludgeoning damage.
That 9 damage is enough to silence the chattering jaws.
I'm done.
Then that takes us over to Arius. It's your turn.
I wasn't paying attention. What's this thing's deals? Can I just go hit it?
Yeah, just go hit it.
Just go hit it.
Try and kill it before it starts chattering.
Okay, that's what the chattering thing was about. Okay. First action. I move 15 feet up to the last enemy. Second action, I will go ahead and take a big old swing.
Old. Just good Kix is doing something.
Oh, I'm gonna aid his attack with a 26 for a critical.
That's a...
Second level, is that critical?
That's what I have to check.
It'd be 16, right?
That is a critical, yes. The 16 is a critical.
So is that a plus
+2.
2?
Yes, sir.
So +2 to the attack with an aid from Kix.
Nice. Taking a swing. Hitting it with a 16. I rolled a 6.
That'll hit.
Pretty sure that critical and that aid just had made it so I hit. And damage.
Well, we've seen a 15 hit, but the 8 itself probably did.
Off by 1, but yeah.
6 slashing damage.
Okay. You can tell that it resists some of the slashing damage, and it still is about to start chattering.
Third action, I take another swing and I roll a 3. I hero point it. I hit with a 15,
15 gets it. Hero point success.
dealing 9 damage.
And that 9 damage is enough, even with the resistances, to silence the final of the chattering skulls. And you stand there in silence afterwards, with just some clicking, and you can hear the sounds from the cavern deeper in. Otherwise, it's quiet.
You thought any of these skulls would be better looking than mine?
Well, not anymore.
Well, now they're all smashed to bits.
Yeah, because they were fucking hideous.
Gurdrug's gonna continue to the south of this cavern.
Okay, you guys stay here.
I do.
All right, Gurdrug, do me a favor. Give me a stealth check.
27.
This large vaulted ceilinged chamber rises some 50 feet above the floor. There are 6 pits in this chamber, each 15 feet to a side, and lined with red glass. They stand in 2 rows along the floor, arranged in a regular pattern. Between and around the pits are 8 roughly circular mosaics of polished bone, each 10 feet in diameter. Along the south wall, where you're headed now, stand the remains of a makeshift camp. Canvases laid across poles of lashed bones to make tents, cook pots over fire pits ringed with sooty skulls, and other abandoned detritus litters the area. The east wall, you can see, contains a wide opening into another room that, even from here it's visible, is piled high with bones. It takes you a minute to count them, but you see some crawling hands, much like your friend Argoon the Annihilator back at the Theater of Sin, that are going in a patrolling pattern around the edge of the rendering chamber here. And they're marching in a pack, 2 packs of 3, and they're going along the edges, and you manage to put your back up against the wall, and they just kind of march past you, and they continue on their route.
Do they look like they're heading towards where everybody else is?
Yes.
So when they get there, I want to stab one in the back.
Nice.
So just as they're turning around the corner, you're going to stab one?
Yeah, because I know they're gonna get too close to my friends,
They'll certainly
and
see
my friends
them.
are not stealthy with their bright pink, purple light.
Got it. Okay.
Really quick, I might have missed it. Are these pools filled with blood?
It's
That-
glass.
Glass.
That's red glass.
Cool.
And if you look at it when you get a moment here, it looks very much like the red glass at the Theater of Sin. This is your initiative, Gurdrug. You rolled stealth earlier. That 27 is your initiative for this. And they need everybody else to roll for initiative too.
God damn it. One of them's going to be for me? That motherfucker.
Well,
How goddamn many of them are there?
6.
I mean,
6 2
Not-
packs of 3.
I'm not last at least this time.
There you go.
Yeah, you have rolled really poorly on initiative with Arius. You just keep getting really
Are
unlucky.
you sure you're rolling the right die? You've got a +6.
Yeah, like it's not like your plus is bad. You just keep rolling really badly on it.
All right, Gurdrug, you're going to get to go first here. At the top of round 1, you see an opportunity, and you take it. Gurdrug, initiate combat.
Okay, yep, I'm going to move up so that I am right behind 2 of them with my first action. And second action, since they're flat-footed, I'm going to attack. We're going to get an 18 to hit the first one.
18 hits.
Well, we will do 12 damage. Slashing.
12. Slashing, okay. Just as it's crossing by, you quick cut it in half. It falls into 2 pieces onto the ground.
I'm going to make a quick back slice with another 18
That'll hit.
for 13 damage.
That 13 damage does the same for the one that passes by. Just cut 2 of them down. And the third one, we'll see if it even gets a chance to react. Taking 2 down at the top of round 1. After Gurdrug gets kicks, give me a perception check.
Does the third hand even realize that the 2 friends behind it are dead?
We'll see on its turn.
Not very perceptive with an 8.
Kicks, you don't even know anything's going on.
I mean, you can keep me at the bottom, because if you say I didn't notice anything, if none of the guys in front of me are reacting, I'll just hold off.
So Kicks delays. Lucan, you're a little closer, but do you notice? Give me a perception check.
Perception check. I get a 22.
Well, you see Gurdrug cut these 2 down from the shadows, but only because their bodies cut in half and stop walking forward. And you notice one crawling hand just continuing on, about to pass right in front of you.
Well, I'll start by moving a little bit. We'll get over to where I can kind of see what's going on. That's my first action. Then action 2 and 3, I guess I will act together and cast Electric Arc at that guy.
Okay.
Reflex save, please.
He gets a 20.
Ugh. Well, that's a success. He'll take half damage from my zappy zap, so that's 2 damage.
Okay.
And then with their action from my act together, Sundrinker moves up.
And Sundrinker can't take any further actions, correct?
Nope, that's it. I can only move up. Actually, I'll be right there, next to Lucan.
Well, Kix, you see him attack something.
Whoa, what's going on? I move in.
Kix goes. After Lucan?
Eh.
After Lucan kicks.
It's a goon.
Oh, look, a crawling hand.
I befriend it. We will throw some more bones. 17.
17 hits. I have a feeling there's always going to be bones.
7 bludgeoning.
7 bludgeoning damage is enough to flatten the crawling hand. Then after Kix takes out the group that was patrolling the early part of the rendering plant, that takes us over to the remaining group. So the other 3 crawling hands spend their rounds moving on their patrol. Damn, they move so fucking fast. Sorry, that was just surprise. They move fast. At the end of 3 actions, you can see clearly that these 3 crawling hands, they're, marching along with their severed stump hand things, and then they stop in startlement, and then with their 3rd action, they start rushing toward you.
Oh, I thought you were going to have a Voltron.
They clip their fingers together to create a foot tall hand creature. No, they are able to, let's see, gets into Arius's space, gets right next to Lucan and Sundrinker, and then the final one just comes up right behind. So these 3 have recognized that you are attacking or that you are invading, and then the one gets right up in Arius's square and starts beginning to climb his skeleton legs so that it can start doing damage. Arius, bottom of round 1. Someone's crawling on you. It's your turn.
Yeah, fuck that thing. I try to murder it.
Die, obviously.
26.
That's a critical hit.
23 damage.
The tip of your sword catches this thing right in the palm, and it just flings across the facility and splats onto a wall. Falls down. It's dead.
And I'll take a step to the east and take a swing at another one that was going after my friend, Lucan.
Thanks.
15 to hit.
15 hits.
13 damage.
13 damage is enough to slice this one before it even gets to Lucan's square.
That's my turn.
Well, then after Arius clearly saves Lucan's life, Gurdrug, it's your turn.
At least my outfit.
First action will be to move up next to this last hand. Second action, we will just take a swing at it. We don't have flanking and it's not flat-footed at the moment, but is what it is. We're still going to get 24 to hit it.
That's going to be a critical hit.
Jesus. 13 damage.
You just come in here and just wreck everything. Just Gurdrug comes up and just cuts this one down before it even gets close. Also saving Lucan's life. Sorry, outfit. I'm getting the 2 things confused.
Same thing.
I'm picturing the Sam Beasley meme from The Office where corporate needs you to tell the difference between these 2 pictures. One says Lucan's life, the other says Lucan's outfit.
They're the same picture. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, that's the end of that encounter. All of the crawling hands on patrol have been eliminated. With ease, if I might add. Startling ease.
I mean, they had 8 health.
Man, having dinner with Kuthites is just the worst. At least now we're back to familiar territory, going through dungeons with absolutely no ability to be stealthy. This one seems suspiciously easy so far. Will that trend persist? Find out next time as we continue Bloodlords. And until then, may you have many great adventures of your own.
It's your turn.